Hi, I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from Shark Tank. Ultimate Bundles connects you with the best teachers online.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I'm so excited to be here to talk to you about decluttering. The first question that I want to ask you is, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to decluttering? I ask this question to people all the time, and I always hear the same answer. We all don't know how to start. We know what we want. We know that something's not right, that our home is not working the way that it's currently set up, but we just don't know where to start. So I'm going to tell you how I think is the easiest way to start. Ask yourself why. Why do you want to declutter? What is going to make your life better when you have your home decluttered? I want you to think about a time when your life was actually impacted by clutter. So think just for a minute about, the time that maybe you are trying to get the kids off to school and no one can find their shoes or no one can find their backpacks. Is that the area that's driving you crazy? Or do you love to cook and bake, but you never do because your kitchen is such a mess? Are you trying to work from home and you just can't? Because there's so much paperwork. What is that moment? Everyone has a moment in your day where clutter is negatively impacting your life, I can guarantee. So think back about what that moment is, because that is going to come into play with how we get started. So that's the first thing I want you to think about. Second thing, thinking about your moment before you start, what does your decluttered house look like? A lot of us have schoolrooms, offices. Don't go on Instagram, don't go on Pinterest to make this decision. Think about what you want your house to look like. It doesn't have to look perfect. It has to look like what you want. This is not about making an Instagram worthy show house. This is about making a home that's clean and comfortable for you. So how do we get there? How do we get to that place that's clean and comfortable and happy? My secret, I've named it power decluttering. And it's not about taking an entire weekend and pulling everything out that you own and clearing it out and doing all of that. I love Marie Kondo and she has her method, but I just don't think that it works for the vast majority of busy families like most of us. So I prefer a power decluttering. And what that means is you take a small, tangible project that you can do quickly. None of the decluttering projects I do, I never spend more than a half an hour on decluttering ever in a day. It's too much. I generally aim for 15 to 20 minutes. 15 minutes a day. If you make a habit of doing a small project for 15 minutes every day or every weekday, you will go through your home and you will have a clutter-free home, as long as you also remember to keep the clutter from coming back in. So if you work through the power decluttering steps, small tangible projects that you can do very quickly, do them regularly, and keep the clutter from coming back in, then you will have a decluttered home and a comfortable home, and you will achieve your goal. So let's go through each of these steps. Remember when I asked you to start thinking about your why? So my why was removing dusts and allergens, mainly from our living room, was kind of the biggest issue. We'd already tackled the bedroom. Think about back to your why, that moment when clutter actually made your life more difficult. Getting out the door in the morning, getting your work accomplished at your home office, cooking a meal because you can't get through the kitchen mess. What you were doing when you were thinking about your why and your kind of pain point was finding your first decluttering hotspot. What is a decluttering hotspot? A decluttering hotspot is a place where clutter collects in your home and causes your pain points. So it's a place where you can easily target a decluttering project and make a huge difference in a small amount of time. So some really, really common ones, kitchen cabinets, a pantry. I don't mean the whole kitchen, I mean just the pantry or just the cabinets under the sink. These are small places where you can really get in and make an impact in a short amount of time. So how do you actually make an impact? What do you do when you get your hotspots? Once you pick your hotspots, let's pick a random hotspot that almost everyone has. Let's do the pantry. So what I do is I open up the pantry. I pull everything out. And as I look at that item, I think of 3 questions. Do I need it? Do I use it? And do I love it? So I pull out a baking dish, say, oh, do I need this? Well, yeah, I need baking dishes in general. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Do I use it? Okay, so this is not my like pie pan that I use probably, once every 2 weeks or every week to bake, casserole or different things. This is the train-shaped cake pan that I inherited from my sister because she never used it, and I thought maybe someday I would use it, but I never have used it. No, I don't use it. Okay, so let's move on. Do I love it? No, it's a cake pan. Not really. Okay, so the answer to, I have at least a couple no's in there. So the train cake pan, I'm gonna toss it. So you need to actually go through, and this is quick. I mean, that's how quick it is. And that's in the toss pile. But that sounds super easy, right? So, okay, I'm like, the cake pan is in the toss it pile, like I'm good, right? But sometimes we get some roadblocks along the way as we're doing this. I know you're thinking like, but. Okay, so here's the major buts that happen. One I call the shuffle. So I pull that cake pan out of the pantry. I'm gonna put it in the toss box, which means the box that's going to leave my house at the end of the day. It's going to go to Goodwill. It's going to be given away. It's going to leave. It is not going to be moved into the kitchen cabinet because shuffling things around is not actually decluttering. Because if you declutter your pantry, but now you've added a bunch of clutter to your kitchen cabinets, it's not helping. So it's got to actually leave. So that's number 1, the gift guilt. Gift guilt is real. It's natural and it's normal, but just because someone gave you something does not mean you have to keep it for all eternity. Oh, but what if my kids decide next year that they want to have a train themed birthday and now I don't have a train cake? Let's think about it this way. If you haven't used it already in a while or, a couple of months, you probably won't, unless it's a really specific seasonal thing. So what I try to do is a box trick. So I box up anything that I think maybe I'm going to need. Box it up and put it away, like far away where I'm not going to see it. Think about it. And then 30 days later, if I have not thought that I needed that, looked for it, or even thought about it, just take the box straight out to Goodwill to donate to, a shelter, whatever you do with your things that you've donated or that you've decluttered. So you really need to find a way to get the stuff actually out of your home. Again, moving it around is not going to help you. So now you got the idea, the basic process. So how do you kind of plan this and how do you scale it to your home? What I like to do is go on a little walk through your house and make a list of your top 10 decluttering hotspots. So think about those hotspots. And once you have your top 10, work through them one at a time and see that you're actually making a difference in just a couple of minutes a day. You can easily work through a room in just a couple of sessions a day. So work through each room one at a time, but make sure to take it small. And don't feel like if you're decluttering hotspots, maybe you have one in each room. Maybe you have 2 in the living room, 1 in the kitchen, 3 in the bedroom. It's okay to do them separately. That's totally fine. Work on where you're going to see your biggest reward for your least amount of effort, and it's going to make you appreciate the process. It's going to make you realize that by doing this and making it a habit, that it will stick with you and you will start finding your way to do it. But remember, just take them small. This is a process. It's not a one time of the weekend and you're done. I also like to find what I call pockets of time to make my decluttering a habit. So we all have those moments where, and they're few and far between, I know, with a lot of people, busy moms especially, like we homeschool. So I'm really, my day is packed to the brim, but I do find pockets of time to make decluttering a habit. So maybe I'm cooking dinner and I'm standing there at the stove and I'm waiting for some water to boil, or waiting for pasta to finish up, and I'll open a drawer and start just pulling out a few things and tossing out all of those, the junk drawer, the kitchen junk drawer. We all have that, and we could all probably declutter it every day and it would still continue. I don't know why. But it can get that stuff out really quickly in 5 minutes, and now you've got like one little thing checked off your list. It helps you to ingrain it as a habit, helps you to actually see results, and helps you to realize that you can fit this into your day, and it doesn't need to become this huge, overwhelming thing that's looming on top of you all the time.